Hey there, welcome everybody to Astronomy Daily Live. Hope everybody's doing well out there in the universe and the world. Everything's good here. The sun is continuing to set. Like we say, the sun actually isn't setting. Um, and the Earth is rotating uh, this way, right? That's my west. So the Earth is rotating this way, and it just sort of seems like the sun is setting, but it actually isn't. But as Buckminster Fuller pointed out, we don't have um, sufficient language to say anything else. What do you say? Oh, the Earth is rotating. That's no good. That's no good. That's not romantic. So, all right. Well, hope everybody's doing well out there. Things are good here, as I said. So, welcome. This is a daily live stream going on every single day, or practically every single day, at 2 hours UTC. We sit back, relax, chill out, sort of forget about everything else for a little while. Just think about astronomical things and spacey things and sciencey things and all kinds of nerdy things. So, all right, well, cool. It is 2:02 UTC, and hope everybody had a great aphelion day. It's also Independence Day in the United States. So, for 4% of the population of the Earth, it's sort of a significant day. It's always a lot of fun. It's we humans like our days like this, the holidays. So yeah. I hope everybody had or is having a great time. That's what it's all about. That's the most important thing. Is just have a lot of fun, regardless of what that is. So yeah, sit back, grab your consumable of choice. This is like a virtual porch or a virtual campfire where we're just sitting around chit-chatting about astronomical things and all of that. So Bobby mentioned in the chat that he will join the panel after the fireworks show. So that's exciting. Tom, hey, nice to see you there in the chat. Andy, great to have you back in the chat. And Chuck, nice to have you there as well. So, and welcome to all of you who are viewing later on. That can't necessarily view live because you're just not available, or the time is wrong. This time is actually most convenient for me. And since I'm the host, I suppose that's sort of where that is supposed to be. I don't really try to accommodate anybody because I've determined at least that it is a spherical planet, and regardless of what time I choose to do this live stream, I'm not going to be able, to make most people too happy about that. The way I see it is, if I can make half of the people glad about all of this, I'm probably doing really, really, really well. So, so yeah, all right, well, cool. So I've got the hydrogen hydroxide here once again. So cheers. So sometime tomorrow I will be giving my first research report to my Patreon patrons. So if you want to hear about all things that are going on in that world, which is sort of a different world than this. This is really sort of laid back and fun, and you know, we're just sort of messing around. When it comes to research, I'm still having tons and tons and tons of fun, but I guess you'd call that a little bit more serious. Yeah, that's the wrong term. Maybe a little more formal. Um, straight to the point, and not too much messing around there. So if you'd like to be a patron, go over to patreon.com, look for Cosmic Lettuce, and you will probably find it there. And I know that Tom is a patron, and Chuck actually just became a patron yesterday. So thanks, you guys. That's it's really, really awesome. So makes me feel good, and the goal there is to try to make research I'm doing sort of a full-time job. I definitely have a ways to go there, but that is sort of the goal. So we'll see what happens, and with your help, it'll happen. So I mean, I'm going to do research no matter what, but the more I can do it, the happier I'll be. So I think that's a great feedback thing. That sort of means I'm in the groove, and I like being in the groove. All right, cool. So like I mentioned, this was, well, just a few hours ago, maybe about 4 hours ago or so, it was aphelion, and the Earth was about 152 million kilometers from the sun. I went out and looked up at the sun and gave a little wave, and it's like, man, we're really far out there. Wow. So yeah, the interesting thing about that is during the day today, I was seeing a few posts about that, and there were some different times given. There was time of 2210 UTC. I saw a time of 2211 UTC, and I saw a time, my time, of 2212 UTC. And and I actually tweeted about this to Dave Dickinson. The Astro Guy I think is his Twitter handle, and I thought that we knew the orbit of the Earth a little bit better than that there wouldn't necessarily be any kind of discrepancy. I got my time from the JPL Horizons website. I just typed in all the parameters, and I looked at the list and noticed when the Earth was furthest away, to the minute at least. I could have done it to the second if I wanted to, but that's like super nerd, and I just that's territory that you got to be really careful about, the super nerd stuff. So to a resolution of a minute, it was sitting at 2212, so that's what I went with. But Dave's was 2211, and like I said, somebody else was 2210. So yeah, it's a little weird. I thought that we knew the orbit of the Earth a little better than that, but maybe we don't. And what Dave said is that he used this site that he called Astro Pixels, which I'd never heard of. Never heard of that site, astropixels.com. And so just a little bit, a little while ago, right before the live stream, I went over to astropixels.com. It's like, what's this all about? And well, it turns out that astropixels.com, the actual physical location of this is an observatory called the Bifrost Astronomical Bifrost Astronomical Observatory, and it just so happens to be located almost right next to me, right over a mountain range in the same county. And so I looked into this a little bit more, and yeah, this reminded me that there is actually over near Portal, Arizona, there's a place called the Arizona Sky Village, and it's actually a planned community for astronomy. All the people over there have observatories, they have telescopes, and it's actually even darker than here. It's really out in no man's land. So yeah, I'm going to try to get a hold of this fellow Fred, and see what's up over there. I'd actually like to maybe pay a visit over there. I went over to the Arizona Sky Village several years ago, and I don't remember why I did. Yeah, it was so long ago. I don't remember exactly what the circumstances were for wanting to get over there, but I did, and it's pretty amazing. That's actually where David Levy lives. If you've ever heard of that name, he's a very, very famous comet hunter, and I don't know if he actually lives there full time or if it's just a place, one of the places that he owns. I'm not exactly sure, but anyway, so definitely check out astropixels.com. Looks like they have a bunch of publications. Here, I'll pop over here really quick, and you can take a look at that. Okay, really quick. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that, and go over here. So astropixels.com, and he's got a blog, and let's see. It says recent images. Let's see how recent they are. Recent images 2018. So okay, recent images 2015. So hasn't been incredibly busy. Anyway, here's the Bifrost Observatory, and so you can see all that. You can see his little dome here. Here's a photo gallery. Let's see. Oh yeah, so it's just showing all the construction and all that, and it looks like a bunch of the images aren't even there anymore. So well, like I said, I will reach out to Fred and see what's up. But yeah, I forgot about that community over there, and I think I definitely want to hook up with them a little bit. As I recall, the folks over there are a bit snooty, a little like, we're some pretty awesome astronomers over here, don't bother us. So so we'll see. I've changed. They may have changed a little bit, so we'll see how all that goes. But definitely check them out. Kind of interested I sort of intentionally did not click on any of these publications, but let's go ahead and do that. Let's see if there's an interesting one here. There's a well, there are solar eclipses from 1501 to 2500. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, you definitely have to buy them, but that's all right. That's all right. They, you know, if it's useful information, it maybe is worth it. So very, very cool. It looks like he's got two different editions, the black and white and a color edition. So that's pretty cool. So, all right. Well, nice. Well, I think as I was mentioning yesterday, why don't we go over to the Mars InSight and sort of finish up with that today. We can look at some seismology data, and we can look at some, what do they call it? Observation, geometry, and ancillary data. Sometimes, you know, the ancillary data is pretty interesting stuff. When we start there, it's sort of timely. I think that we are going to be looking at seismic data from Mars, given the fact that we had a little bit of seismic activity here in the past several hours. So yeah, let's. I don't know where this is going to go, but let's dive into it a little bit and see what we can find. So okay, we're looking at that. Should we look? There's a thing called document. There's a thing called spice kernels. I'm not quite sure what that is. Let's get into it though a little bit here. Zoom in. Again, you know, it's going to be a case where I'm not exactly sure what all these symbols are. Probably need some kind of external documentation to really know what's going on there. So if anybody in the chat knows, pop it up on the chat, and we'll might have a better chance of kind of understanding exactly what this is, because I'm just not seeing it at all. Okay, so these are really, really small files. Too interesting. Let's look at CK. Okay, well, these are like .bc files. I have absolutely no idea what a BC file is. Let's see if we can save it and take a look at it here. Is it going to do anything? I guess it is. Let's see. We'll go over here and we'll put it in the same place. Absolutely no idea what this is going to look like at all. That's always part of the surprise. Seeing what this does. So let's go over to Astro Live. Whoop, it's going to be 190703. Let's see. Well, let's do this first. Looks like it's, at least my Unix machine is calling it data. So let's see if it's ASCII or what. Oh no, it's not. It's looks like there is some ASCII in here though. So there's a really, really cool Unix machine command called strings, which will just sort of grab the ASCII characters out of this thing. Let's see if there's anything interesting. So that just looks like sort of regular text. Okay, so yeah, looks like there's a little bit of a header of some sort. The CK file was created using CK Slicer. I don't think I've ever heard of CK Slicer. And it looks like maybe it's part of the SPICE toolkit. Now, I have heard of SPICE, but I don't remember exactly what that's for or how to use it. So, well, nothing too exciting there. Should we, let's just kind of plow through these and see if there's anything at all here. There's a .tf file. What the heck is a .tf? Who knows? We'll come back over. Whoop! We'll come back over here and it's a bad typing day. Site v05. Okay, so this looks like a regular ASCII file, but wow, they've got some pretty interesting little diagrams here. Look at that! Wow, holy moly! Okay, not a lot of data here, but okay. So here's a little bit of insight into the coordinate system that they're using. It's kind of interesting. Not quite sure. Well, I'm not quite sure where all this is leading to, but let's just kind of go through it here. Wow, they're making some pretty complicated diagrams with some ASCII characters. Isn't that amazing? Antenna frame, medium gain antenna frame. Huh. Wow. Look at that. They've even got those solar panels, and somebody put a lot of time into this. Wow. How big is this? Okay, it's not very big. I'm not seeing any data here. Lots of, I mean, it's pretty amazing what they're showing here in these diagrams. Or shoulder azimuth frame. Wow. Wrist frame. Instrument and tool frames. Schematic diagrams. Wow. That's kind of cool. Made by ID codes. Pretty cool. Oh, I hear a voice in my ear. Do I hear a voice in my ear? I do hear a voice in my ear. Bobby, how are you? Oh, he's still silent. Bobby's still silent over there. He's probably working on things. While we're pausing, I'm going to check the chat really quick. Good there. All right, well, oh, here's, this looks like Marco A and Marco B. I wonder what that's all about. That's probably more ASCII diagrams, but that's kind of interesting. What? Oh, man. Marco A frame definitions kernel. Okay. Kind of neat. Yeah. Looks like the same kind of format as before. Star tracker, radiator frame, engine frame. Huh. Antenna frames. Wow. So everything has their reference frame, their coordinate reference frame. I guess this is just a description as to what that is. Oh, okay. Kind of neat. Let's see what else we got here. That was FK. Did we look at IK? I don't know. let's look anyway. I don't know. Let's look at this first one here. See what that's all about. TI. I don't know what TI is. Oh, really a bad typing day today. I can't believe it. Auxiliary instrument kernel. Field of view definitions that don't yet or will never have their own IKs. I don't know what an IK is. Maybe an instrument kernel, like that. Naming conventions, mounting alignment, antenna, field of view. Okay, really short, just a little thing. I don't know what these other ones are. They're also pretty short. Yeah, let's just look and see. Curiosity. Let curiosity guide us here. InSight, IDC, version and date. So camera, CCD, dimensions. Okay. Yep, 1024 by 1024. Cool.
Woo!
There's Bobby. Hey, I can finally hear you.
Yeah, my prober transgressed.
Transgressed. Transgressed. All right. Well, good. Good. You're here. How were the fireworks?
Oh, best one ever.
Best one ever. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's saying a lot. So we're just looking at some of the boring and mundane in the InSight stuff. Just sort of some ASCII files here that are defining various parameters and all of that. So bore sight directions and actual camera fields of view. So yeah, just sort of looking at all that, not spending a lot of time trying to understand it, just looking. See, I don't know how to pronounce that. Cavor E parameters. Quite sure what that is. It's kind of interesting that they are using quaternion stuff here, so that's kind of interesting. Okay. All right, moving on. Moving on. LSK, did we look at that already? TLS, we might as well just, whoop. Might as well just sort of look at everything here.
No, indeed.
Leap seconds kernel file. Wow, okay. Okay, well, useful for some, I mean, if you really want to get into all of this, you definitely have to at least be aware of a lot of this kind of stuff. Let's see what this one is. Inside v01.tm. It's the InSight Spice kernels. Kernels is below our
So
archive.
where this is coming from anyway?
This is just part of the InSight mission. This I would sort of call sort of calibration data. Just sort of have to, I mean, if if you're, incredibly interested in knowing, geometries, how things are lined up, what different coordinate systems are being used, just lots and lots and lots of metadata, I guess you would call it. Did we just look at that one? No, it's not. Oh, so that's kind of a biggish file. Let's see what that is.
Oh.
Kind of neat to go through all of this. P constants.
You want to know something? I think I should have brought some sunscreen to a church party. To a church pool party. And right now my shoulders are wailing from swimming.
Yeah.
And the sun.
Well, the sun is pretty much as far away from the Earth as possible, so it could be worse. Could be worse.
Yeah. And did Chuck Daglin just became a patron?
Yes, Chuck became a patron yesterday. So he is on board. Much appreciated, of course.
Yeah, I got the level 1.
Yeah. Any level is a good level as far as I'm concerned, because it's awesome to have that kind of support. And I think I'm doing some pretty interesting stuff too. So okay, well, we're just sort of going through this. I'm not looking too hard at anything. Orientation constants. Pole RA, pole deck. Mercury, Venus, Earth. Wow. Not quite sure what all of this is, but not quite sure why that would even be here. Neptune pole data for Mars InSight. Yeah. Probably just sort of a generic file, I would think. Satellites of Jupiter. Wow. So this just goes on and on and on. Okay. I want to get to the seismology data, so I don't want to linger here too long, but it's kind of interesting to look through all of this and see what it is, at least just being nosy.
Wow. Sample files.
InSight, LMST. Local mean solar time. Okay, so I guess this is how they're working out what time it is. Not quite sure what all that means, but there you go. Pretty small file.
Can somebody tell me a good home remedy for sunburn?
You can try some aloe.
But what if you don't have aloe?
Oh, I don't know. You need to grow an aloe plant. I have hundreds of them here.
Oh my gosh.
They grow very, very easily, and it's kind of nice, because when you get a burn or anything like that, you sort of, break off a leaf and, open it up and just sort of squeeze it, and this nice, cool, clear goo just oozes out, and it's very, very nice. Wow, these are pretty big. Why don't we look at this first one here? Oh, well, there's a whole bunch of things here. Quite sure what any of this is. Here's an 18K one. Why don't we look at that one? InSight struct, it says. So maybe that's, I don't know, something to do with the structure of the vehicle? I don't know. InSight struct. Oh, it's another data file of some sort. Let's look at it like this instead. Struct. Strings. Unix command called strings. All right, that doesn't. It's not showing a lot, but okay. All right.
Learning new console programs every day.
Strings, yes. If you have a weird file, like a binary file, a non-ASCII file, that might have, you know, some ASCII characters in it, that strings command can
I
help
might
you
even
out
try that with HM01 data and see how good it is.
Yeah, try it. Okay.
Now, strings can do text files, right?
Oh, sure. Yep.
Yeah.
It'll do anything. It doesn't matter. If you really want to look at the structure of a file, you can use the command od, which stands for octal dump, but you can actually look at your files in pretty much any format
now
you want.
those two that you recommend, will it decrypt pseudo random encryption files?
It doesn't decrypt anything. It just does a dump. Just does like a hexadecimal dump or a binary dump, or you know, any format. But yeah, let's get into this.
So it's still decryption, but you know what's in there, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't call it decryption at all. It's just looking at the bytes and writing them out. So yeah, I mean, it's not doing any kind of decryption whatsoever.
Yeah. It's about when you decode the HM01 data from Dictrix. I think there's a special app that looks at the hexadecimal data. That data goes. Now it's a Windows app, so I guess your 2 recommendations for Linux console apps will be good.
Try them. Yeah, you never know. Let's look here. We've got raw ASCII data here. Why don't we take a look at that? That's probably where we want to be. So XB, I think, is where we want to go.
Oh, well, here.
And yeah, what they've done, I sort of looked at this before a couple days ago. They've got sort of two different formats. They have a continuous, you know, just grabbing data continuously, and they have this other one where they sort of decide that some kind of seismic event has taken place, and so they'll list that. Why don't we look at the continuous first, because that's probably pretty boring and mundane.
Hey,
I don't know what all of these mean, but we'll take a look. 2018. What is that? Like a day number, maybe? Kind of hard to tell. Pretty small files here, just a couple of K each.
At least that's your favorite format.
Yeah. So it doesn't look too exciting.
Does anybody know what his favorite format is?
Do I have a favorite? You know something I don't know?
You get obsessed with CSV files.
Do I? Yeah, I guess I probably do. Here's kind of a large one. Yeah, these are all small, and you know, I guess I sort of have to apologize. I'm not quite sure what what all these mean. Naming conventions. You have to look at the documentation in order to really understand what you're looking at here.
I'd like to know where's Pagemaster at.
Oh, I don't know. Who knows? He's probably
just
doing
swimming with his telescope.
Yeah. Or doing the fireworks thing. Who knows? Let's take a look at these. I'm not quite sure what any of this is. Doesn't look, I mean, obviously, this is a timestamp, and this is some kind of data value. Don't really know what it is. Something about voltage. So yeah, not quite sure. It's all right. Let's keep moving here. 2018, 2019. Here we go. You can sort of see that
looks like they're really are in day numbers.
Yeah, that sort of makes sense, I think. All right, well, let's see what this is showing. Okay, sort of the same thing, except it's showing position. Okay, but kind of showing the same numbers. Should we plot those just to sort of see what that looks like? I don't know.
Why not?
Why not? Okay,
I would be using Wget if I was you.
Well, there's so many ways to do it. Doesn't really matter. Wget, I like to use if I'm doing like a bulk download. I'll do that, but otherwise, it's just as easy to right-click and do a save as, I suppose.
Wow, I didn't know in Wget you can do a bulk.
Oh yeah. Yep, Wget's a very powerful tool as well. I'm just going to put a pound sign in front of that so it doesn't have too much of a fit.
Pound you fist as quickly as you can. Pound your fist as quickly as you can.
Set data file, separator, commas. Whoop, not an M, comma. And I think we just have that one. I think we just have that one column. Whoop. Let's do.
That gotta work.
20. Nah. There we go. So
there we go. Now
let's just look at column 2 here. Plot. What is that? XB. It's probably not going to be incredibly exciting using. Whoop. Am I using 2 points? Point type 7. Color 8. Sort of the usual. Yeah. Okay. So it's a.
Studio.
A little bit of a sinusoidal curve there. Not quite sure what they are looking at there, but there it is. Regardless, neat. All right, let's look at. It looks like. As I said, I think I was sort of into this already, so why don't we take a look at this one that I'd already looked at, and then we will move on. Whoop! Let's grab it this way. Bam.
Bam. Bam. Bam. Bam. Bam. Bam.
So we'll do the same thing here. Whoop! Come here. Come on. Yeah, so I'll comment that out so GNU plot doesn't have too much of a fit. And we'll do the same thing here. Let's see what that looks like. Just have to change file names. ELYHK12. Probably going to look about the same. Yeah, it's sort of a sinusoidal thing. And start seeing that.
Now see that you use points.
Yeah, these numbers are so small that we're actually seeing the digital units here. See how it's going from 654 here, 655, 656, and these are well, it doesn't look like there's any fractional things here, but yeah, I'm not quite sure exactly what this data is. It's part of the continuous seismic measurements, so it does go on and on for a little while, but this is all day number 90, and it's probably like Sol 90 is my guess. So, all right, well, let's why don't we try another one here just really quick. This one sort of jumps out because they've skipped about a month here, so let's that one really quick. It's probably going to look about the same, I would think. Well, let's see. Which one should we look at? There's, as I said, the naming of these files is significant. These aren't just random names, but what they exactly are, we'd have to dive into the documentation a little bit to really know. But it's just kind of fun to take a quick look at all of this and just sort of see what we see and not worry too much about what it is or what it means or anything. Okay. Let's try this one and then we will move on. Because I kind of think that the things that they're deciding are events might be a little bit more interesting. Okay, yeah, just some more sinusoidal type of
with a bridge gap. With a bridge gap.
Yeah. I'm not quite sure what's going on there, but well, it is what it is. This might be a gap in time, and since I'm just plotting data points here, it looks a little weird. We can maybe try to confirm that. We can look at the clock time here and the date. There might be a pretty obvious skip in time. I don't know. Oh, yeah. See, it skips a couple hours here, so that's probably what that is. That's my guess. Not quite sure why they would put a header right in the middle of things, but they did.
Yeah, okay. I don't know why. That would definitely mess up your canoe plot, right?
No, it shouldn't. Not really. It didn't. Okay, so let's. Why don't we go over to the events list, event waveform list here, and see what we've got. Okay. As you can see, again, I sort of dove into this the other day just for fun, so you can see that I've been looking at things already. These are pretty big. Let's take a look at a couple of these.
And if you've been hearing the pops as well, we have a fireworks ordinance that actually legalize the popping of fireworks, but only in unjurisdictionalized area.
Oh.
If you're in a jurisdictionalized area or a corporation limit, it goes straight to your city government.
Okay.
Like your city council, your mayor.
Interesting. So I'm looking at the units here, and they're calling these counts. Counts. So I'm not quite sure what that means. I'm also seeing a thing that's saying scale units. Is that meters per second? Quite sure how those two relate. Looks like maybe this is the sampling frequency here. I don't know, 1/10 of a hertz. That isn't hertz, but...
And yes, tomorrow local is supposed to be the last day you can pop fireworks in unjurisdictionalized areas.
Those rules will be broken. At least I hope so. Looks like there's a lot of data points here too, right? Yeah, wow, 36,000 of them. So let's see. As I said, I'm not quite sure what these numbers are supposed to represent, but let's take a look anyway. These look maybe like they're sort of wiggly. Again, we'll just look at column 2. Oh, you know what? I haven't been doing this right.
But yeah, you want to make sure there's a break.
Yeah, actually, because there's a white space here, the new plot won't have any problem with that. So that's okay. That's why it's worked.
There you go.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to take a look at this bad boy. Whoop. That quote, a single quote at least. Okay.
Wow.
So lots of wiggles. Let's make them lines.
And it's sloping down too.
Yeah, what's going on there, do you think? I don't know. Line with 1. Let's just sort of see what that looks like. So there's some noise, but if this is supposedly seismic data, it is kind of interesting that it's going down like that, and almost doesn't look like it's a straight line. It looks like it sort of is flatter here at the top. So maybe there's a little bit of a curve. I have absolutely no idea why it would be going down. But there are, some wiggles here. Don't know if they're significant or not. Maybe they're just, variations in temperature. Who knows? Let's look at the first few, because this is, 36,000 data points. So let's just look at the first 1,000, say. Let's go from 0 to 1,000. Oh, 1,000. So there's things going on, for sure. I don't know how significant that is. What is that? Go from about 9,600 to 10,400. That's about about 800 data values, whatever that is. I'm not even sure what the units are, but there is definitely some things going on there. If this is seismic information of some sort, it is definitely non-trivial. Let's look at a few others in here. Let's go from, I don't know, 10,000 to 11,000. Wow, look at that. Wow. So there is, I would say that I guess we're looking at seismic activity here. don't really know how to really understand this, but yeah, there's some stuff going on there for sure. Let me look at the next set here, like 20,000. Let's go from 20,000 to 25,000. So we'll do 5,000 data points. See a little bit more data there. Pretty cool. Not quite, yeah, I'm definitely not quite sure why it's going down, why all the values are slowly going down, but there's stuff going on. Wow. That's I don't know, that seems to be a little bit more activity than what I sort of expected. I always have expectations on things. I try not to, but wow, that's active. I think these data points, if I remember, are taken, I think, 56.1, 56.2, 56.3, so 10th of a second sampling rate here. So that's actually 10 hertz, right? So they're sampling pretty fast. And so if we're talking about 5,000 data points at 10 hertz, that's about, what, 500 seconds worth of data? So it's almost 10 minutes worth of data there. Almost 10 minutes worth. So it's pretty busy. Pretty busy place. Let's look at the end part here. So, well, pretty amazing. And that's just one. Let's see. So that's going from 251.56 to 351. So that's 1 hour. So this is 1 hour worth of data, this whole thing. Wow. So that's 1 hour. 1 hour of data. Huh. Busy place. And that's just one of these. What was that named? That was BHU, for what it's worth. There's a bunch of different ones here. You see there's a BHU, there's a BHV, there's a BHW, there's an MHV, there's an SHU. Wow, it just goes on and on and on. Why don't we look at another one of these? I'm not quite sure what the U is, but let's look at the BHW one. Again, we'd have to look at the documentation to really know what that's all about, and maybe I'll do that. I'll try to follow up on this and try to understand a little bit better their naming conventions, because otherwise, we're sort of in the dark here, which is okay, but it'd be nice to understand this a little bit more. So it looks like those values are negative sometimes. That's kind of interesting. 251 to 352. Let's look at that. BHU, BHW. That's the whole thing. Yeah, just wiggly again. We can zoom in a little bit. Okay, yeah, pretty much sort of the same thing. We can actually, why don't we do this? This isn't going to be exactly lined up, but let's do this. Multiplot layout 2, 1. So let's look at BHW, the first 1,000. And let's also look at BHU, the first 1,000. And these will sort of line up in terms of time. Not exactly. We'll have 2 plots here. So these are roughly the same time, but obviously 2 different measurements there. Again, not quite sure exactly what this is all about. One of them is labeled BHW, the other one's labeled BHU. Oh, I just lost my multi-plot when I did that. That's all right. So, okay, well, pretty cool. Not quite sure. I sort of assumed that these are just different events that they've found. So again, here's, and, there's some numbers here. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what any of this is. Let's look at one of these, SHW. Let's see. We'll take a look at this first. Okay, yeah, so it's the same format. Yeah, SP velocity. Quite sure what any of that means. Let's take a look at it, though. Well, let's look at the whole thing first. 67 will get us there. There we go. Okay. There's a big spike. I don't know if that means anything or not. Why don't we look in that area? So let's go from like 15,000 to 25,000. 15,000 to 25,000. Focusing on that spike. It seems pretty significant. Whether it is or not, I'm not quite sure. Kind of cool, though. Let's look at the first 5,000 points. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggles. Lots of wiggles. And again, those, because I'm using lines to connect all the data points, this is it's not, I mean, I wouldn't call it deceptive, but you have to be careful what you're looking at. Let's look at this with just points. 7.5. See what it really looks like. So yeah, I think in this case, the lines are following the data pretty well. Sample rate is so high that even when the data values are changing really, really fast, you still get some good sampling in there. So that's kind of nice. SHW. Don't know what that means. SHW. Here's that. Kind of cool, though. So here's I guess, a third event. Back to BHU, BHV. Yeah, all sort of the same. Just a different date, I would think. At least a different date. Let's see what that shows. So let's look at, okay, well, yeah, we're looking at two different things here, but let's see what the date and time is at least. So 314 at 2043 and 326. Okay, so these are different dates. Makes sense. Let's take a look at that one. Let's look at the whole thing first. Let's see. SHU. There we go. And there again, it's dropping. Not in a linear way, though. You see it's a little bit of a curvy there. Let's look at a smaller piece again. Let's go 0 to 1,000 there. First 1,000 data points. Yeah, so looks similar to the others. I didn't notice any big spikes. Maybe this thing in here. Let's go from 20,000 to 30,000. 2000 up to 30. Yeah, I don't know if that's a significant thing or not. Somehow they've decided that this was a seismic event, so not quite sure. We're just looking.
Yeah.
Just looking around. All right. Well, see if there's anything else. There's probably nothing incredibly interesting here, but let's look anyway. Metadata. Just a bunch of XML files. I don't know what these seed files are, but they're really, really big. So that would take well, it's not going to take too long to grab that. See how long it takes. Yeah, it's not too bad.
But we don't know how you open seed files.
Yeah, I don't know if these are text files or not. That's why might as well grab one. And this is kind of a big one. I'm noticing that there's some smaller ones here, but let's see this. The reason why I grabbed that one is, see the name of this directory, ELYSE. That was the same as this one. So in my head, I'm saying, okay, there's kind of some interesting data here. So maybe there's kind of some interesting data here. Who knows? And it's coming along. We're almost 3/4 of the way down. So internet's a little bit slow here out in the middle of nowhere. But it's got to be patient when you're doing any kind of investigating, when you're kind of poking around and stuff. Well, it's usually nice to be careful and slow about things like this. While that's going, I'm going to check the shenanigans in the chat. Okay, good. Not too many shenanigans. Yeah, Chuck, you know, that ASCII art is pretty awesome. I'm going to see, I think that kind of stuff is probably publicly available. So I'm kind of curious to maybe work with that a little bit. All right, let's see what the seed file is here. There's another Unix command, Bobby. It's called file, which tries to figure out what kind of file these things are. See if I do, in fact, see how this thing I've named JPEG. I can actually rename that to anything I want. Anything I want. Okay, and then I can do file on anything I want, and it tells me. It actually looks at the contents of the file and works all that out. So I can do exactly the same thing with the seed file. It doesn't care. See, with Windows and all that, first thing it does is it looks at the file extension. File extensions, as far as I'm concerned, are meaningless. So who knows what this is? Let's see what Unix says it is here. ASCII text with very long lines. All right, let's take a look at it. ASCII text with very long lines. Yeah. Oh, all right. So just just big long lists of numbers. I'm going to go back to the top here and see, is there any integer compression format? Oh, here's a couple of, this might be giving a little, stop. I don't know what exactly it's doing here. Oh, I know what it's doing. I used the mouse wheel to scroll down, and it's doing its best to do exactly what I told it to do. And it's not doing a very good job at it either. So I just have to sort of let this thing go until it stops. Sorry about that. Oh, it's going back up now. Oops. There we go. Okay. So it looks like this data does have some stuff in it, but wow, it's in a really bizarre format. So yeah, I'm not gonna mess too much with that, I don't think. It does look like it's ASCII data though, so could be useful. Might not. Well, you know, it looks like it's about 3:14 UTC, so I think it's about time to get on out of here for today. I think we're, I don't know about you, but I think I'm pretty much done with InSight data for the moment. I think the only thing that I definitely want to do is look at some of the documentation and see if I can sort of sort out exactly what we were looking at. So I will try to give a report on that tomorrow or the next day or something like that. So for now, let's get out of here. Back to sort of the regular astronomical stuff tomorrow. Who knows what it's going to be? We usually decide those kinds of things right on the fly. So it'll be astronomical, of course. But yeah, we'll sort of see what happens. So for now, I'm going to get out of here. So have a great evening, great day. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Thumbs up if you like. Tell a friend. Spread the word. Just having a lot of fun here. Just thinking and talking astronomy for a while, and now we can sort of get back to regular life, right? So, all right, everybody, take care. I will see you again tomorrow, 2 hours UTC. I'll be back. See you later, everybody. Bye.
Later.